of the process writing is brainstorm. First step?
Brainstorm!
So guess what we're going to have to do today? We're going to have to get those storms going in our brains because we're going to do some brainstorming today, okay? We're going to brainstorm with Rex. Our process writing that we are going to be talking about. We are going to be doing a narrative. A narrative is when you write about yourself. Today's narrative, or this week, we're going to be working on it for the next few days because process writing takes a few days. It's not something you just do one day and you're completely done with. We go through all the steps, and the steps take time. But what we're going to be doing, we're going to be writing a narrative about ourselves, about a time you felt happy. So the main idea of what we're going to be talking about is a time I was happy. That's going in the middle because that is the main idea. That's what my writing is going to be about, okay? But before I can start writing, I need to think about this, okay? Now, I need to think about some times in my life that I was happy. Does anyone here have a pet? When I got my first pet, I was really, really happy. So I have another one that made me really, really happy. You're saying it for me. Addison, what is it? Teaching. When I got my first job. All these are times that I was happy, but I can't write about them all, okay? Because we want to concentrate on one thing. So I'm trying to think in here, one that I would really like to talk to you about. One that I think that you guys could even connect to is when I got my first pet. So what I think I'm going to be writing about this week in my process writing is when I got my first pet, okay? Because I have a lot to tell you about my first pet. I can tell you what it was, I can tell you who it was, what we did together. There's a lot to tell you about my first pet. So because I know I have a lot to tell you about that, I think that's a good thing for me to talk about. Is we need to take a second and we're going to turn and talk with our neighbor about times in your life that you felt happy. Go ahead, guys. Turn and talk. Now we're talking about the first step of process writing. What are we doing, everyone? We are brainstorming. Okay, let's share out, maybe to the group, some of the things that you remember that made you happy. Landon, hands down, all eyes are on Landon.
One time when I felt happy, there was a baby emu who was pecking at my shoe.
Oh my goodness, there was an emu pecking at your shoe. That's a pretty cool one. All right, I like that. That was a time that you felt happy. All right, guys, so we brainstormed. We were talking out in our groups, okay? So now what we need to do is we want to get some of this brainstorming down so we can find what the best idea for us to talk about with a time that you were happy. So now when we go back to our seats, who remembers what's going to go in the head of Rex? Anna? The topic. And what is the topic that we're going to be talking about? A time you felt happy. Notice just up here, like our Rex, right? His head is the topic. The topic's going to go right here in the middle, okay?